5 truths about gender. Very, very important conversation to have with your children, even your toddlers. 5 truths about gender. Why should we even have this conversation in the first place? Very important. By the time I begin to tell you these truths, then you will know that it's very important, because there is a lot of falsehood all over the world. A lot of false information, false knowledge going around. Number one, gender is the same as sex. Now, while I read and I research a lot of things happening in the world, I came to understand what is being paraded as information concerning gender and sex. Now, they say sex is what you are born with, what you are created with. Okay, then gender is something that you eventually choose. Okay, so you may be born as a male, right? That's your sex. Or as a female, that's your sex. But then you decide at a particular time whether you're going to actually be a boy gender, a girl gender, fluid gender, queer gender, transgender, he, she, and so on and so forth. In fact, information going around is that there are more than 100 genders you can actually choose from. If that is not your belief or value, you need to start to tell your child that, look, gender is the same thing as sex. So there are 2 genders. That's truth number 2. There are 2 genders and 2 sexes made by God, which are the male gender and the female gender. The male sex and the female sex. So when you are born, you are either a boy or a girl. You are either a male or a female. Very, very important. And you need to establish this truth from infanthood, as I said. After all, the very first conversations about sex in the Bible was male and female made he them. Very clear. Male and female made he them. So teach your child that God made 2 genders, which is also the same thing as 2 sexes. Number 3, gender is factory fitted by the creator of humans. In other words, you cannot choose your gender. You couldn't have chosen your gender. You were born with it. That means God planned that you will be either a boy or a girl. And God is a perfect God. So any gender you are is a perfect gender. Remember, it is factory fitted. It's not something to be chosen. It's not something you decide. It's not something that you change. Okay? Today you decide to be a male, and then tomorrow you decide to be a female. Another day you decide to be neither male nor female. That's the confusion from the pit of hell. Tell your child the gender you are is a perfect gender, factory fitted by God who created you. Number 4, tell your child that you cannot choose your gender. You cannot choose your gender. It's very related to number 3. If God is the one that created gender, that means you cannot choose it. That means you cannot decide which gender you want to be. And then number 5, if you feel confused, there is something called identity crisis. And it's very real. So you don't have to deny it. You must agree, acknowledge that such things exist. And in fact, you have to agree that it could even happen to your child. So it's not a conversation to ignore or to say, God forbid, it cannot happen. Tell your child, if you ever feel that you're no longer comfortable being your gender, if you ever feel confused about your identity as a boy or as a girl, you can talk to me. All right, you can talk to me. Don't talk to anybody. You can talk to me or talk to somebody that is trusted. That's why you need to have trusted adults in your circle, people that think and value the same things that you value. Thank you for watching 5 things or 5 truths today.